Well, new tonight, we're digging into the issue of domestic violence in the city of Columbus and if the laws meant to stop it are helping. According to data from police, there have been 19 domestic violence homicides in the city this year. Last year, there were 23. It is an alarming trend that advocates say they see increasing.
For months, 10 TV investigative reporter Rochelle Aline has been speaking to advocates about this issue and learning about the risk factor that often precedes an outcome like this.
According to the Ohio Domestic Violence Network, domestic violence-related deaths in our state are up. The group says between July of 2023 and June of 2024, there have been 114. That's 2 more than last year. They tell me strangulation made up about 25% of those deaths. And they add that it's also a sign a partner may try to kill you in the future.
Basically, he beat me in my sleep.
Dawn Montgomery shouldn't be here.
I had a subdural intracranial hemorrhage, which has a 50 to 90% mortality rate.
The Walking Miracle tells 10 TV she suffered these injuries at the hands of a former partner. And while she walked away with her life, she's not unscathed.
I received some very serious traumatic brain injuries.
Dawn says strangulation was part of the escalation in violence in her relationship.
With the background of this work.
And it's a trend that leaders with the Ohio Domestic Violence Network, or ODVN, say isn't unique to her story. According to their data, more than 80% of domestic violence survivors were strangled at some point. Because of this, ODVN is working hard to educate people on the issue. Part of that work includes educating folks within the criminal justice system about Ohio's new strangulation law. It took effect in 2023 and makes strangulation a felony.
The vast majority of cases get plea bargained, and those plea bargains reduce the levels of charges people see.
But they're also looking at the lasting impact that strangulation has on the brains of survivors.
You have some kind of oxygen deprivation from the brain. Oxygen deprivation because there was some kind of strangulation, suffocation a person was sat on, kind of whatever that looked like.
It's work that ODVN has partnered with Ohio State University to do. Right now, they're recruiting for a study called FASTER. The goal is to scan the brains of domestic violence survivors for possible traumatic brain injuries.
What we're trying to see is, are there certain areas of the brain that are impacted by intimate partner violence, just like how we see with sports concussions or in the context of the military.
The hope is that this data will help to fund more research, reduce stigma, and provide more resources for survivors living with brain injuries, which is music to Montgomery's ears.
Strangulation has such a big connection with the possibility of fatality. So it really needs to be taken seriously.
And 10 TV wanted to know how effective the state's strangulation law has been since it passed. Right now, we're digging through those cases to see where they've ended up. In the studio, Rochelle Aline, 10 TV News.